The opposition is disputing the result. As we know, they say they've got evidence to show that the opposition won the election, which is entirely possible that they do. But what can come from that, aside from saying that they won the election? Because we saw these protests last night, they quietened down pretty quickly, and the opposition's being pretty careful at the moment. I mean, they're calling people to come out today for these citizen assemblies, but they're calling for families to come out. So that's not suggesting they expect to have mass riots or anything occurring.
Right.
So what kind of movement are they going to drive here? And just sort of saying that Maduro needs to respect the will of the people, what is that actually going to achieve?
My history of this is to study always the military. Is the military linked or separate from Maduro?
They're pretty intertwined, actually, and that is the one thing that's going to be very interesting to watch. There's no sign really at the moment that the military is moving away from supporting Maduro, but that's the body. As is the case in other countries around the world, if the military moves, then everything does move with it, because the popular, opinion of people may not shift anything here. If the military withdraw their support and truly do that, not just in small numbers but in size, then do we finally see some kind of movement against Maduro. But right now, we're not seeing any sign that they're moving away from him. But that is truly the key thing to watch.
That's the military. How powerful is people power in Venezuela?
Well, again, you can see that Maduro has been quite willing, you'd have to say, to allow his people to tolerate, a very high level of economic challenge. I mean, the situation that Tom was just pointing out in Venezuela has been desperate for years, and Maduro's allowed that. He's tolerated that for his own ability to stay in power. So is he going to be concerned about his people suffering even further economically or under sanctions or whatever? Possibly not. He just waits everything out. We saw that with the opposition under Guaido, for example. If he waits long enough, he tends to wait them out. And so would he allow, protests may happen, there'll be popular uprisings potentially, unless it really gathers that momentum that gets to the point where it tips over for him. And again, with the military involved, it's hard to see what's going to happen at the moment, at least in the short term, that could dislodge him.
Are there fears this sets the template for other countries in the region?
Well, there's always been, obviously, in the region, that link between, again, military and politics, and that concern about how far the military has its tentacles into politics and how much leaders, individual leaders, lean on the military to give them that support. And so there's quite a sense of unease, obviously, in the region, given its history in some countries about that. But certainly, as we've seen elsewhere in the world, in parts of Asia, for example, the military has played that key role. And if the military, continue their support or withdraw their support, then you see that lead to become very vulnerable very quickly.
Right.
So there's obviously a template in other countries from that.